Are you curious how to find a loan agent, how to get pre-approved, and what steps are involved in getting your finances in order before you buy a house? Well, stay tuned as we're going to cover step by step the process on how to do that. Hi, I'm Teresa Wellman with HomeownerExperience.com, your local San Jose, California realtor. And this is a third video in a series of the home buying process, my step-by-step guide to walking you through how to buy a home with an agent and preparing and researching those steps. So step 0, we covered the basics of the research on how to do online mortgage calculations, how to narrow your search to a given area that meets your price point. Step number 1, the second video, was how to hire an agent and the process of going through narrowing and interviewing those agents. And now this is the third video, step number 2, of how to get pre-approved and hire a loan agent. So let's go ahead and get right into that. I'm going to minimize my view here and bring you over to the computer screen. Okay, so here I am on free reports for home buyers on homeownerexperience.com. You just go over to the find a home and go down to free reports for home buyers. And what I want to point out is here is a great blog called Loan Pre-Qualification versus Loan Pre-Approval. So if we go to this page right here, there is an explanation of what the difference is. But on a high level, you're going to want to get pre-approved, not pre-qualified, before you go buy a house. You might have been pre-qualified before you spoke to your agent or in the very initial process to understand how much mortgage you can afford. It's a great part to do during the research phase, but pre-approval is really the next step that's really important. So before you go through the pre-approval process, I want to make sure you have the right loan agent on your team. So how do you do that? The first thing is going to be ask your realtor that you just hired in step number 1 who they recommend. Now, your realtor is a really good source of information for this because they're doing hopefully several transactions a year, 10, 12, 15, 20. So they know loan agents who are successfully closing purchase transactions in the local area. If you're asking around with friends and family, that's good too, but you want to make sure that somebody who's done business with them very recently in the last couple months and has done a purchase transaction, not a refinance. There is a big difference in the process and timelines of refinance versus purchase. Knowing those things, you can definitely, like I said, ask your agent, or I do have a tool where you can download. In my video, I'll put the link below of my San Jose recommended lenders. If you want to reach out just to get a quick pre-qual, those are some resources that you can use. You also want to check in with your personal bank. So not only agent referrals, number 1, but number 2, look at your personal bank. If you bank with Chase, for example, walk in there or call them up and ask about their mortgage programs. The reason is if you have a good amount of money in a certain bank, they typically are going to give you some bonus rates to keep your business in that bank. You may not be able to beat the rate of your own bank, but you might be able to. So definitely that's a place that you should consider. And then, like I said, referral of somebody who recently did a purchase transaction with a lender. So now you've got a handful of lender recommendations and you should reach out and talk to all of them. So just like hiring your agent, interview your loan agent. I'm going to go through, I go through some of the key factors that you should consider in a video on that. I'm going to link that below, but the video is called How to Choose a Mortgage Lender, Beware Home Loan Actual Experience with Real Clients. I'm going to put up the thumbnail here for you to see so you know which one it is. But that's a really important video where I talk about some actual experiences of buyers that I had this year in 2020 and some lessons that I and they learned. I mean, I kind of knew the lessons, but sometimes people don't want to listen. So the lessons that were learned so that you don't have to learn the hard way. Okay, I really think that's an important video for you to watch. One of the biggest points is to have your plan A lender and a backup lender always before you're out looking at houses. So your first choice lender is going to be narrowed down by several different factors that I cover in that video. But really the things to think about is, again, like hiring your agent, personality, somebody who does recent business, transaction business, somebody who's going to explain the details to you and answer all your questions, and someone who's going to be very available to answer those details when you need them. And then of course, you're going to compare rates. So once you found people that personally work well with you, you're going to want to look at their programs and their interest rates and figure out who has the most competitive program for you. and probably make them your choice A lender. Choice B lender maybe costs a little bit more, but still communicates really well and does a really good business. And the lessons for why you need a backup lender are going to be in that video again. And the last thing I recommend you listen to is my video on the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval. As I mentioned, here's the blog post, but you can also check out the video. There's the link right here, and I'll put it also in this video that you're watching now. So this was a quick and short one on how to get pre-qualified. Those are the basic steps. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, or of course, ask your agent. Thank you.